Hey Libra, up next is going to be your June 2020 Practically Soulful reading for the month. In it, we're going to look at the vibration of love and how connection and relationships take us through the process of death and rebirth. And perhaps that is the only constant and true truth of life, is that change is always present and available to us. No matter how little that changes our reality, no matter how much that fundamentally shakes up our reality, so that we can start foundations from the ground up. And as with change, we too do change. Who we were a year ago, 5 years ago, what our relationships were a year ago or 5 years ago are going to be different over time. What we once wanted and what we do want moving ahead can sometimes be very different and involve a change and involve entries and exits of new love, new experiences, new versions of ourselves. It is the Phoenix line, and the Phoenix line through death and rebirth, which is a very big part of the burning away of the old so that we can soar. The Phoenix line is no different to the seed that achieves its greatest expression. It cracks open to rise through the soil and to meet the sunlight. There is a beautiful opportunity in June for you to soar and allow that energy to permeate across your whole life, to experience true change. Perhaps something you've been wanting for a while. Stay tuned and take a look further, but we're going to be dealing with the energy of worry and how that can hold us back and hinder us from greater experiences. We're dealing with letting go and the process of death and rebirth. More than that, we're welcoming in the highest vibration and a refresh and reset to love. There's some beautiful energy around love connections for you in June. But like I said, stay tuned and watch the reading ahead. Hello, my lovely Libra. Welcome to Indigo Ascension. My name is Ali. This is going to be your June 2020 Practically Soulful reading. This is your first time to the channel. Please do go and take a look at the description box below, where you'll find links to my website and my Facebook page, which has a little bit more information about me as an energy healer and intuitive reader and the work that I do with Indigo Ascension. Now, the channel is relatively new. You will see there are videos, there are fortnightly readings and monthly readings. So please do go and check those out. I am finding that there is a story, if you like, a frequency, opening and closing of chapters or leveling up in all of the zodiac readings in many ways, and that all of the zodiacs are experiencing growth as evident by the soul messages that are coming through and that I'm intuiting. Now, the channel is dedicated to empaths, intuitives and sensitives, those that identify that they're on the awakening path. My intention with all of my readings is to reach those viewers on a soul level, you know, so that you can connect in with a confirmation. You can connect in with clarification of what you intuitively already know. And that's perhaps the greatest purpose of my work, is to identify that we are all our own greatest intuitive guide, teacher, healer, counsel, and that empowerment always begins and grows within self first. You know, we're moving out of old Piscean energy into the age of Aquarius, which one of the small and many things that is all a part of is that we're really looking at things from an expanded point of view. We're looking at ourselves from an expanded point of view. And perhaps our society has always taught us in many ways to seek approval, acceptance outside of self, yeah? But the energy that the collective is being taken within and the journey it's being taken on is about really discovering the magic of how much that potency exists within self. And we truly are our own creators. You know, we can create transformation and change within our own lives. And that can be a completely internal process navigated purely by our own opinions, guidance and advice. So may these messages simply be healing, clarification and confirmation for that reason. Okay, let's take a look. I like to do a bit of a cosmic recap. My cosmic compass, I like to call it, because micro and macro levels are all interconnected, as above, so below. June has a powerhouse of activity in the stars. Now, if you have a look in your May reading, I mentioned the 4 retrogrades that we're currently in, okay? So Venus, Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter are all currently in retrograde. We then enter Mercury retrograde on June the 10th with 5 planets in retrograde. This is a month of change, Libra, make no mistake. We're all being pushed, encouraged, supported to create change in whatever way we choose. Now, the full moon in Sagittarius on June the 5th is our first lunar eclipse. We've also got a solar eclipse in Cancer on the 21st, which happens on the same day as solstice. There's a lot of energy around freedom versus restriction, as well as love versus hate. So in order to truly know what love is, we must experience what it is not. In order to truly know what freedom feels like, we have to know what oppression feels like. These are the themes we're all going to be noticing, and you're going to see that reflected in your environment, the people around you, within yourself, and perhaps when that subconscious stuff is coming up to raise its awareness within our conscious, we're not quite sure why that instability is happening. It can feel frustrating. It can take us through the shadow elements of our base chakras in many ways, Libra, where we're experiencing anger, frustration, insecurity, all sorts of things, okay? And like I say in all of my readings and within my healing work, there's nothing to be afraid of when it comes to shadow work. There are 2 sides to the coin, and it would be unrealistic for us to think that life could always be free and happy and full of love. We must experience polarity, and we must integrate it, okay? So June, well, to be honest, the next few months are going to be powerhouses to truly help us infuse the gifts of all of this cosmic activity and planetary alignments we've been given. The collective is only now truly starting to reflect those themes of the 4 planets in retrograde. I talked about them in the May readings as a heads up. This is what we're going to be noticing. We're going to be noticing issues around intimacy, love, connection, what our love languages are, how we're connecting to those around us, how we've always adapted to beliefs and behaviors that were modeled to us, shown to us, the rules and boundaries that were given to us, how we've experienced expansion or oppression or being too afraid to accept opportunity when it comes to growth. Thus, we struggle with manifestation, and how we're also finally becoming aware of our shadow elements. You know, this cyclical process happens all the time, whether it's every year or every couple of years. We're always gifted with an opportunity, Libra, to truly maximize the potency of the recipe of placements that are available to us to help us integrate our higher knowing on the 3D plane. Whether we choose to take that is another thing altogether. There will be always another opportunity. We never truly miss out. All right, let's take a look at your energy for the month, and the energy that crosses you, the energy that makes itself available for you, and how that might tie into those cosmic placements I've mentioned. Wow, balance. I'm throwing things. Are you feeling a little bit out of balance, Libra? Let's take a look. I feel like I need to put that back though, but I just wanted to note it. Balance. And how you're not balanced and unable to shuffle your cards. Maybe that's just me today. I'm really feeling the Mercury energy of Gemini season. Okay, my loves, what did I miss there? Death, and above that is love. Underneath is gratitude. In the past is imagination. And in the future is worry. And underneath all this is the energy of envy. So let's not forget the energy of balance that wanted to come up earlier. Perhaps, Libra, that in many ways means there's been a balancing that you've been going through in the last couple of months. I'm feeling it sits more back here rather than up here or down or in the future. This balancing was necessary. So again, go check out the placements, the readings on the channel. You've come into a balancing. And a lot of the zodiacs have, you know, we're experiencing true change this month, and maybe this is the month where you can finally really let go and implement this new chapter. This is what I'm feeling here, because I sense a link to the past in some way, which is infusing your future, which can potentially infuse your future and how you experience your month with worry. And so, as with all of the intuitive readings, this reflects a potential here and now, but you and you alone, Libra, are the one that has the will and choosing to either engage or not. You know, with every single choice, we can continue on, or we can go left, or we can go right. It's completely, or we can stay still. It's up to us, okay? Regardless of if I say, here's what's going to happen, it really is at your navigation. And I do see there is a risk here of you delving into old ways of worrying, old ways of thinking. Now, ruling an air sign, you guys are the master of thought, and you truly can master how perception is your friend and leads you to love and gratitude, so that you are truly crowned and grounded by those positive high vibrational energies, or how your perceptions lead you to worry, fear, and stress when it comes to the we're not quite there yet. I do see you're going through a letting go. Like, make no mistake, when the death card shows up, that there is an ending here that has been integrated, that will be integrated this month, that is still being processed for its many intricate layers. You know, sometimes we can't just end a day and start a day as a new person. Like, there's apply this however it resonates. I feel this is a connection in some way with some of the Libras I'm talking to, but in other ways I'm also feeling I'm talking to a lot of Libras that are connecting in, and this is representation of the old version of you. There's this death and rebirth process you have been through, and there's been a balancing that's happened recently in the last month or two in order to help really let go, okay, is what I'm feeling like. And you will continue that work this month, but perhaps without as much energy that was required in previous months. It's like the last dregs. But what you will notice this month, as we kick off with a full moon lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, and also that solar eclipse in Cancer, there's two eclipses. You are eclipsing. Everyone's eclipsing. We're experiencing massive eclipses. There's been a purpose of these retrogrades to really stir up the pond water of our sense of being, our sense of self, so that we can get rid of what's getting in the way of us aligning to who we truly are and want to be and where we want to go. We've had to make choices and decisions that were ultimately hard, and that might have felt completely painful. But there was so much inspiration in the past here, Libra. The imagination card is this call from higher self. Like, I really feel that when I look at this card, like with the high vibrational colors. This is about truly seeing the future and knowing it, knowing what that essence feels like in our heart and in our mind without that tangible evidence. And we know in order to truly engage what we see, feel, and just want to trust in and have faith in, this must happen. And I don't doubt that it's a difficult process. It is. It's extremely difficult. It's really hard to let go of what was familiar, what is a big part of us, whether that be a connection, a lifestyle, a chapter in our lives, a friendship, a work, a career that we had invested so much of ourselves in. But with this card, the imagination card, in the past, I do see many Libras have been elevating themselves. Bringing themselves into balance has perhaps meant you were bringing yourself up into a higher version of yourself. The next level of your experience, and a big part of that next level of your experience means a letting go of anything that tied you to the levels below. There is no above and below in a judgmental way. But in order to raise our frequency, raise our vibration, raise our reality to that version of self that we see, feel, and just want, we have faith that we can be that version of ourselves, something must go, and that's what you're processing this month now. Take that however it resonates. I'm connecting into Virgos that have left behind relationships and connections. I'm talking to, sorry, did I just say Virgo? Maybe you are dealing with a Virgo, Libra. Maybe you are dealing with a Virgo, Libra. Maybe you are releasing connections that no longer align. Maybe you are releasing relationships, career paths, realities, ways of being, believing, thinking Name your thing, name your journey. I do feel in many ways that there is a risk this month that you will dip back into old ways of being concerned of how things may pan out. But I do want to remind you how potent this felt. There was a time recently, okay, whether it was in the last month, where you noticed a true shift in your energy, a true decision happened within you where you just said, no, I know that this decision, this choice, this next chapter, this place I see myself going is right for me. Whether it's starting a new relationship, starting a new chapter, starting a new career, you saw the future version of yourself so strongly that you planted that seed here, Libra. You planted that seed here. Now I'm feeling August last year. Maybe it happened in Virgo season last year. I feel it's relevant. It's something that began August, September last year. Okay, that's relevant. It was a seed that was planted in your heart and it sprouted. And a big part of that, just, you know that saying, for a seed to achieve its greatest expression, it's buried deep in the dirt. It is dark. It is small. No one knows anything about it. And maybe there was something, a concept, a feeling, a desire that was existing within you that no one else really knew about. But it's out now. And that was part of the balancing that had to happen. That was, I feel this destructive energy of that seed just coming completely undone. For that sprout to even achieve the process of arriving at the surface to experience sunlight and clarity, it had to bust out of what it once was. It had to deform itself and then keep pushing through that uncertainty, through that soil, in order to touch the sun. You're hitting it. That's what this month is. That's why I'm seeing that this month, Libra, is very much about you hitting that sunlight. It's almost like this worry card. If you dip into that worry, it's almost like that seed going, should I go back? I'm still pushing through soil. Should I go back? Does that mean you're going to be struggling, pushing through soil in order to reach the surface and touch sunlight this month? No. But I do see here, as you travel through what might look and be perceived as oppressive or difficulty or worry, because the future is not quite here yet, but you feel it. You feel it with your whole heart, actually. You know that this decision was the right choice for you. And that's just a big part of life, is that death and rebirth are two things that will always remain, no matter what year we find ourselves in, no matter what century we find ourselves in. We're always on a process of death and rebirth. And there's this new version of yourself wanting to be seen and experienced. So I do want to say trust in this process. There's this new chapter of your life that it will be out and experienced. Like July feels relevant in many ways. This is relevant. You will feel this energy, and you know when this energy hits us, we must allow ourselves to grieve. We must allow ourselves that transient time of the in-between, where we're not quite back there anymore to who we used to be, and we're not quite where we want to be in our future self, our future reality, but we are here in this transition point. And it is in this space we can let go with a full heart and deep gratitude of everything that brought us to here. We can give thanks for the love that we know, have known, will be knowing. This is what crowns you, and this is what your foundation is, Libra. The most potent way to make the most of this energy this month is to see yourself deeply grateful and grounded in gratitude for everything that got you to where you are now. To be crowned by love, to always look for the love despite the challenges, always look for the opportunity, look for the love, look for the light of your current circumstances. Keep your eye on the prize when it comes to this, because you've seen it, felt it, known it, that this new chapter is a must and is destiny and it is part of your path, is what I'm feeling, Libra. There was no other way. There is no going back. Now I feel like crying, because I do know that a big part of our graduation It's no different to when we come out of high school and we're going into university. We're excited, yes. But there's a grieving that happens. We're no longer that young lady or young man, you know, and then no different to the women we were before we had children to who we were right after it. Just two different people. And you're going to that next level version of yourself, and you are deeply grateful for the love that crowns you. And I do want to say for other Libras that I'm connecting into, that vision that you have always known and held fast to with deep love, grateful for every circumstance that even perhaps showed you the opposite of what you felt and knew, you're letting go of any fear paradigms that got in the way of your intuition, okay? There is a chance that you will be coming into worry this month, but like I said, that is very much no different to the seed saying, well, should I go back? It is destiny for that seed to sprout. And who knows? Maybe it's a sunflower. Maybe it's a beautiful rose. Maybe it's a massive, grand rain tree. You know, it's limitless what it can be. But we feel it and we know it. Thanks to the imagination card, thanks to the love you've held and planted in your heart about this next chapter of your life, yourself, your path. Love is crowning you. I'm talking to Libras that are very much ruled by love, motivated by love this month. Do I love my path? Do I love what needs to die, what needs to be let go of? So that I can feel truly grateful for where I am right now. So that I can be truly crowned by love and be guided by the light of love, so that I can say I love my life, I love my choices, I love my past. I'm deeply grateful for everything that got me to here. I've learned a lot. I'm deeply grateful for the presence of these special souls in my life. I am learning that endings are merely beginnings when it comes to death. I am thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents me when we're looking at gratitude. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things when it comes to the love card. Okay, let's take a look at your tarot and see what it wants to clarify. You might interpret these tarot cards as the 4 quadrants, okay? That's what I'll refer to them. They might be your 4 weeks of the year and how this energy progresses. They might reflect the 5 levels of being within. If this is the soul body, if this is the energy that is available at its most potent for you this month, Libra, then perhaps I work with the 5 bodies in my healing work. We are more than just a soul. We're also an emotional body, an energy body, a thought body, and a physical body, yeah? Our very 3D human life encourages us to focus only on the physical. And yes, we know about the emotions, but we oppress them. Yes, we know about our thought body, but perhaps we don't use it to its most potency. Its best potency, I should say. We use it in the negative. Very little does our mainstream world teach us about the energy body and, of course, the soul, and how those 5 integrate and balance. And what we cannot understand on an emotional level perhaps has to be explored on other realms, like our thought body, our energy body, and our soul. By using and accessing all 5 and seeing how they intertwine and complement each other is probably our greatest healing gift to ourselves, to achieve true balance and awareness, to ascend, yeah? So you might see that energy reflected in these 4 quadrants as reflections of the 4 elements within you. Okay, let's have a look, my lovely Libra. 3 of Cups, 3 of Pentacles, Page of Wands, the Sun, wow. The Star, the 2 of Wands, the 8 of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, that's you, 2 of Cups, the King of Swords, the Hierophant, the King of Pentacles. Wow, I just got goosebumps. There is a beautiful story here. The Page of Swords. I'm connecting into Libras that are waiting on communication. Now that might be confirmation, that might be underneath all of this. The Page of Swords is also a watching energy. And now I do see here, I might be connecting into Libras that have a risk of dipping into their their worry state and watching and waiting rather than acting. And yes, I do understand and deeply advocate there is always time to intuit and go in and decide and feel things out before we truly act. But let's not stagnate and stay in that energy, okay? That's what I'm feeling is underneath all this. There's a risk of you this month doing the overthinking thing rather than truly connecting in to what you intuitively knew. And I keep hearing last August, whether you are connecting into a Virgo, because the King of Pentacles has shown up. Now, the King of Pentacles represents Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And this is the last week of June, you've got the Queen of Swords, you've got the King of Swords, you've got the Two of Cups, you've got the Hierophant and the King of Pentacles. I feel like I'm connecting into Libras that are between elements or between people even. There's a beginning here where we felt like we met our other half, but there's also a review period of a spiritual lesson that has to be integrated. Something has to be let go of. Something has to be ended here when it comes to this King of Pentacles energy, this commit, but it can also represent an energy. I feel there are people involved that are connected to you this month that are relevant, Libra. Now, if what is crowning us is love, this could certainly be love choices, relationship choices. But when I say choices, it's, am I choosing to recreate patterns that I have once come from? Am I wanting to do everything a whole new way in this new relationship? Okay, so take that how you wish. Now, the sun and star have shown up, and it's just trumps everything. But I do see here, I'm connecting to Libras that are definitely in a crossroads between their old selves and their new self, between their old reality and their new reality, between relationships, between people. This does not feel like career stuff, but I'm not going to discount it. I feel like this is love and relationships and connectivity thing. There's a higher awareness and a gift that has come into your life via a new connection, a new way of connecting. You've got the Three of Cups and the Three of Pentacles. Now, you might even be connecting into a Capricorn, because in the Capricorn reading, those two cards came up as well. It might not be a Virgo. It might be a Capricorn, this King of Pentacles. But I do want to say Virgo season is relevant for you last year. There was an opportunity within the family for a new beginning. There's been an opportunity for a new beginning within a family, is what I keep experiencing when I'm looking at these cards. I am also picking up third-party energy, but I feel that's more so third-party energy that is influencing a family unit, a small family unit. Now, take that however you wish. It can be an addition to the family. It can be a new way of experiencing the family, is what I'm feeling. These are the themes this month. But there's a genuine feeling of new beginnings for you, Libra, by the second week. You've got the Sun and the Star and the Two of Wands. You're wanting a new beginning, regardless of whether you can see that. Sorry, I'm just got a fly buzzing around. See, that's that third-party energy. The fly on the wall. It's relevant, and I feel like I'm connecting into Libras that might even be dealing with the opinions of family, the opinions of loved ones, those that feel like families, or even close friends. There's third-party energy that's interfering. And when I say interfering, it doesn't have to be chaotic. I don't necessarily see chaotic cards here, or conflict cards rather. But it was of relevance. It's of relevance because it's also of relevance to truly come to this point of ending. Something has to end. The ending of this influence of this third-party energy. This ending of this transitionary period, this ending of the way things used to be, or the way in which we allowed other people to influence our decisions of what we should be doing. There's a celebration here at the beginning of June, and there's a beginning. You know, there might even be news of an engagement, a new relationship, a birth. Take it however you wish. You know, there's something needs to go. Like there's a timeline dropping, and so what's happening for you in June. And, you know, this new path, despite the fact that you've only ever felt it here and here, perhaps, It is right for you, this new beginning. It is here, it is tangible. You know, I also feel like I'm connecting into Libras that aren't trusting the journey. They're not trusting that this new thing, this new path will pave the way to its highest potential. But there's a beautiful alignment here when it comes to the coming together. Now, there's something here you truly want to work on when it comes to a new beginning. And a new beginning can exist within a connection that already exists, or it could be a new connection itself. There is a new relationship in your life, and certainly this could be a new relationship that you are experiencing with yourself. But there's something here that you truly want to invest in when we see the 8 of Coins. You want to invest on this new beginning. You want to invest on this new way in which we're communicating, connecting, how I'm communicating myself, my truth, my desires. This is you in your element, Libra. When the Queen of Swords shows up, there's that fly again. When the Queen of Swords shows up, you know, we know that this energy, she knows her boundaries. This woman, she's been through a lot. She's been on a journey. You know, she knows exactly how she will handle conflict as it arises, because I'm feeling this by the 3rd week of June, you may be addressing the last remnants of interference is what I'm feeling. I feel this can be a challenge in the first few weeks, this ending that needs to happen, and there's still that remnant of other people's opinions or feeling worried about how we're going to make this start, how it's going to come together. Is what the 1st week of June is. But by the time you get to the 2nd and 3rd week, everything's strong and starts, like, it's crystal clear. Like, this is that soil journey I was telling you about. Once that seed busts open, there's going to be a risk there of worry as that sprout pushes through the dirt, yeah, because it hasn't yet touched the sunlight. And that's what the 1st week of June is for you, Libra. It hasn't quite touched the sunlight. It's been traveling through soil. Maybe I should go back. So just be aware of that, of how worry may arise or old ways of thinking may arise in the 1st week of June. But keep going, because the 2nd and 3rd and 4th week truly is you touching the sun, and there's a guaranteed new beginning here. Okay? This is you in your element when the Queen of Swords shows up. Not only that, there's a beautiful partnership with your counterpart. You might be dealing with an Aquarius. Now, you might have Aquarius in your chart, but when the Hierophant shows up, these are higher principles, spiritual principles, a higher spiritual connection with the King of Swords. There's a beginning here with the King of Swords. This could be you having a new higher spiritual relationship with yourself and balancing the divine masculine and feminine elements within you. But this can certainly be the beginning of a new relationship that was divinely guided, and you are clear about it. When the Star card shows up, it's ruled by Aquarius. So as a Libra, you know, you guys, you haven't shown up in your major arcana here, but you've shown up in your minor arcana. You are the Queen of Swords, there's the King of Swords, and there's the Hierophant. This is a spiritual partnership. But then I see here that there's the King of Swords. This could potentially be someone else that is involved in the picture. Maybe it's family, okay? And the King of Pentacles is Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. But certainly this is a commitment, not just a practical commitment. This is a long-term commitment, a marriage. So there's a beginning here that feels like a marriage, it feels like a spiritual partnership. There's probably an engagement and talks of a wedding. Yeah, this is the kind of energy I'm seeing. This is a divine counterpart energy. And the King of Pentacles represents long-term commitment, relationship, stability, future plans. I'm wanting to work on it with the 8 of Pentacles. I'm committing to working on it. I am committed. Okay? This could also be Libras that are dealing with these two energies as two different people too. Like I said, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. All right? Maybe a Taurus is involved because the Hierophant is ruled by Taurus. I actually want to clarify. These higher consciousness wisdoms and lessons that are showing up for you this month, Libra, is very much about death and rebirth. Before that beginning can happen, an ending has to happen. Maybe you are struggling to end something in order to begin something. But there's a beautiful clarity, knowing, spiritual direction, and even a blessing. You can truly be crowned by love and grounded in gratitude this month as you allow the authentic process of death and letting go and endings to take place for you. Wow. Now I feel like crying. Okay. I'm strongly picking up on a frequency or a storyline. Now, this is not the only one that I'm picking up on, but there's this, there's a story out there where there's a Libra perhaps really torn, or had been really torn in between two people perhaps, an old way of living, an old partnership versus a new partnership, really being up late at night, wanting to be the ideal mother perhaps, but feeling torn, wanting to really embrace that Empress energy of knowing exactly who I am and what I want and what's right for me. Take that however it resonates. There's been head and heart decisions around commitment, marriage, family, the legacy that we're leaving, the options we have when it comes to what must go, what is worth juggling and what is not. How we're deceiving ourselves with what we're trying to hold on to and make work. And how betrayal is almost necessary in order to experience true freedom and a walking away. Okay? This is very much a big part of an awakening journey for that storyline, that frequency, that Libra that I'm picking up on, that an ending to a marriage, a connection, no matter how long standing, these energies of feeling conflicted between two realities, two versions of yourself, two people, two partners, has been a death and rebirth process in of itself. And I do feel that in many ways I'm connecting to Libras that are experiencing that true hitting the sun moment in the journey this month, where you are able to then freely let go. Other people know this is who I am, this is what I'm doing now. And I do sense here this worry is the concern that we might have for people in the past. What will people think? Because there's this new version of you, and that new version of you comes with a new partnership or a new reality or whatever the case may be. I'm feeling emotional, and so that's not obviously relevant to everyone, but it's definitely relevant to someone out there. And so I do want to say, Libra, you know, what would you want for your own child? Would you want them to follow their heart? Would you want them to be guided by what feels right for them? That perhaps this ending you knew had to happen a long time ago, but had delayed it because you wanted to be the right mother, you wanted to be the right partner. And we can force ourselves to continue in a routine, continue in a lifestyle, continue with a connection. But within us, there's a part of us, this divine spark that is dying. And it's not because of the other, it's because of us not following our heart and our truth. And that's what this has been about for you. It's about re-sparking that and choosing life again, and the natural acceptance that comes with the letting go of a love that was in our life for a very long time even, and for a very big reason. And perhaps it'll even remain, but yet in some other form. There's a letting go here, and I'm really feeling it. And I'm feeling a culmination of things like the guilt, and because sometimes nothing major has to happen, it's just ended, and that's perhaps the hardest ending to. Because I think in our society, we think something major must happen. What caused them to break up? The saddest thing to explain is that we lost that version of love within the partnership. You know, make no mistake, there are so many versions of love. Google it. The Greek have like a standard 8 types of love, and you know, romantic love, erotic love, passionate love is but one. Love exists in many forms, in friendship, within family. love can transform. Oh, now I feel really, we can be friends and then turn into lovers. And we can be lovers and then go back to being friends. Love can, this is transformation energy. This is Scorpion energy, yeah? Death and rebirth. Love can transform us. New love can revitalize us and transform us and reconnect us in with our original passion and creativity and excitement and youthful essence, yeah? But love can transform. That is what I'm picking up here. Love can transform us. The arrival and birth of a child can transform us, just as new love in our life can transform us. And love can transform. Just because it existed in one form for a while doesn't mean it cannot exist in another form, yeah? That's a choice. It's only us as humans when we go through a separation or go through endings that we think everything has to be conflict and hideous and hurtful. What would we want for our children? What do we truly want? There's a big difference between unconditional love and conditional love. And that's the gift as we enter this age of Aquarius is and exit the age of Pisces. We're doing things in a whole new way, Libra. And yeah, the highest ideal for a young family, for a family, is to accept that everyone deserves to follow their heart. And we've made decisions thoroughly and not lightly. But we will always honour when someone chooses to follow their heart and be their highest self and their authentic self, because honesty is love. I also see the arrival of a birth, a new beginning, and you can take that as the birth of a baby, a blessing that has come, a marriage, an engagement, a new path that opens up in our career, but it is a more spiritual path. This old version of yourself might be a mainstream job. This new version of yourself might be a spiritual line, you know, a healing line, if you like, more alternative. There's a coming together of the divine masculine and feminine. There is a spiritual union here, a spiritual marriage. And not only does this new chapter affect your love life and what you love about life, Libra, but it affects your career too. And it will influence how you do your 9 to 5, is what I want to say. Maybe love was found in the workplace, I don't know. There's the energies of envy and judgment that are going to be best balanced by humour. And I do see that those first two energies, judgment and envy, can lead us to worry. We're worried about what people think of us when we're making decisions that affect other people. And we can really dip into lower vibrations, yeah? Like I said from the very beginning, do not forget the seed of love that was planted within your mind and your heart. You've held fast for this long. Do not give up. And it's going to take a little bit of discipline for you to stay away from old ways of doing, perceiving, thinking, allowing yourself to fear and fret and worry. It's completely up to us, Libra, if we take on the energies of others. That might look like judgment. That might look like envy, okay? What would you want for your child or your loved one? Would you want them to follow their... I feel I'm connecting to Libras that are following their heart here and they're struggling whether to do so. Who am I to shine so brightly? Who am I to experience freedom within my heart and choose life and love and passionately choose this new path? You deserve this. You deserve this. And it's actually going to be such a revitalization to all levels of your being, to all corners of your life. And it makes you a better friend, a better mother, a better father, a better lover, a better workplace employee, a better business owner, whatever the case may be. This decision to release the weight of the energy that comes with the opinions of others. When you release that, or when you release the weight of the what if, there is freedom here, you know, and you truly connect into the energy of empathy, because what you want for others, you must want for yourself too. You deserve this. You would want this for another. And this is about growth. We're growing to touch the sun, yeah? It's worth the journey through the soil. That soil, that darkness was our womb. It was our womb that actually created all this. It got us to here. Growth is essential. It's a very big part of our happiness. There's a new version of happiness calling to you, and it's connected to your relationships and how you've balanced them, okay? No regrets. Look at that. I felt like I needed to show you that. I was going to put it down. Let there be no regrets in life. And I said this in another reading, if tomorrow was your last day, how would you want to spend today? What conversations would you have? If we only knew that we had a certain amount of time, how would we live it? What would we want for ourselves? We must want. What we want for others, we must want for ourselves too. And as empaths, as intuitives, as sensitives, we want other people's happiness. We want them to experience their greatest expressions of love. But yeah, we hold ourselves back. Gratitude, my dear Libra. June offers you a beautiful month to eclipse old ways of being, old ways of thinking, old ways of connecting, old realities, old relationships. The first 2 weeks are going to be hard on all the zodiacs. When I say hard, I mean we need to put in the work. Yeah, a house doesn't get built in a day. A house doesn't certainly get built by just pressing a couple of buttons. Work is necessary. Output is necessary. Choices are necessary. Conversations are necessary. Boundary lines are necessary in every moment. But watch what can happen, what can be formed, what can we can build. Change is guaranteed this month. And it is a very natural part of the cosmic cycle and process, you know. Evolution, transformation is a guarantee that we are all given. How we choose to transform and evolve is completely at our will and choosing. But there's some beautiful transformational love energy. There's some beautiful coming together of spiritual partnerships and higher connections that are not only touching the sun, but touching the stars this month for you. It's actually beautiful. But I do see that I'm connecting to Libras that might be holding themselves back a little. But this is the month of magic. This is a month where you will remember this time, this crossroads, the time you either chose or not to, okay? Thank you, Libra. That was a beautiful reading. That was a beautiful reading, Ali. I connect into a healing space. It was a beautiful experience to connect into your reading, into your energy today. And I cathartic metamorphosis that's coming up for many Librans, okay? I hope you found resonance. I hope you found confirmation. And by all means, I hope June brings you everything you have wanted and have been working towards. Okay? Have a blessed month. Namaste. Thanks for watching.